What do you reckon was your sort of worst, when you were in a situation and you thought, am I going to be able to get out of this? Did you have any really difficult situations that you had?
I can't go into exactly what it was, but I can tell you a situation in Spain.
Yes.
Where I had the Spanish police shoot my car up.
Yeah, that's not a good day, Pete, is it?
No. I had 6 bullet holes put in the back of the car, and I got away, got down to further back down the motorway towards Spain, hid the car up, cleaned it up, and there's a big field. Cornfield, I would imagine it is, and there's a bridge over by the cornfield. I've got older people, they said, we can't pick you up till the morning, they said, because the police will all be out. But I'm with another geezer as well. So I'm lying in the middle of the cornfield trying to sleep. And then all of a sudden, about 4 or 5 in the morning, combine officers had started going round the outside. And my mate's starting to get up and get vigilant. I went, boom, I said, just go to fucking sleep and forget about them. Then we heard beep, beep, beep. Car on the bridge, jumped up and got in the car and fucked off.
Do you remember when you was up in Norfolk at Johnny Casanova, what me and Dave done with his boat?
Oh.
Which,
this is funny.
This was a scene out of Only Fools and Horses.
Dave was doing an audience with in Lowestoft. And he brought a boat down, I think he brought it from Yarmouth. I'm not sure, can't remember. He borrowed it off Johnny. And we're waiting for him to come down. And all of a sudden, we've seen the boat turn, and I thought, where's the roof gone?
We took this boat, right, and we went down, and I think we was going back, but we didn't realise it was tidal, right? But as Pete said, if you'd have looked on the wall, there's markers. But me and Dave are just like Dale and Rodney, so because it's gone through the bridge, when we're going back, I went to Dave, well, that don't look like it's going to go under there, you know. And he went, don't be fucking stupid. He went, that's come all the way down here. Obviously, it will go through it. And as we got closer and closer, it was about 4 inches too high.
You took it
and
right
it's
off.
fiberglass, and it's just ripped. As we've kept going, Dave just went, we've got to keep going now. So we just went into the bridge with the roof, and we come out as a complete open top, and the roof just literally dropped behind us in the canal. Yeah, and we got back to, we parked this boat up, and Johnny rung him up about half a day later. He went, Dave, he said, I've gone down to the boat, and he said, there's no roof on it. And he went, well, it was all right when we left it.
Yeah, because he left it. He was meant to have taken it back, but he left it in
We left it there. We couldn't. It was too embarrassing to take it back.
And then he done another audience within Norwich, and it got this massive tropical fish tank. I've gone, watch this, Dave. And he's watching. I've got this big lump of whiz out of my pocket. And I've sprinkled it in the top of the tank. They couldn't believe it. All the fish attacked it. They thought it was fish food. About 30 seconds later, they had the best buzz of their life, I'm sure. They was all going boing, boing, boing to the top.
So was your main thing, was it like, debt collecting, was it enforcement, or was it robbery? What was your...
I've never been a debt collector.
He was a genuine, real deal debt collector. And if someone was bullying someone, or someone weren't playing the game and needed, there was, whether we like it, whether people outside this world understand it, there is some people in the world that you can't talk to them politely. The only thing they understand is someone coming along and giving them a clump, right? And people like Peter, because they knew Dave would only ever ask them to do what was necessary and correct. Dave never took any decision lightly, and if someone had to have a clump round the ear and it had to be done, like people like, he had Ian Tucker, he had Pete, Mark Bates, the people around Dave were professionally excellent at violence, do you know what I mean? They were really talented at it, and, if one of them turned up, you was in trouble, but none of them were bullies, none of them went out of their way. They would much rather sit here laughing and joking and having a giggle with you. But if it come to the point where they had to turn on a little bit of violence, do you know what I mean? They were more than capable of doing it. And that's what... But Peter was just a really loving, caring man on the other side of that. That's what's so unique about Peter. He is a proper Jekyll and Hyde. He is a real funny, bubbly man to be around that you can have a laugh with. Or if you actually went in, Pete, there's a geezer out there giving it the big, and he'd go, right, let's go and fucking...
And you have to be careful. There's some people if you're going to do something to them, they'll grass you up, right? Yeah. So if you know that, you're a fool if you go and let them know that you're doing it and see you, because to do something and know you're going to go to prison for it is madness.
Yeah.
So what I done this one day, I wanted this person. So I found out when he's out. I've broken his house when he's out, sitting in his front room, turned all the electrics off, all the trip switches off, put a bally on. Sitting there waiting for him to come home. He's come home, walked in the door, seen the lights are out, gone to switch him on. I've jumped up and smashed him to pieces with a baseball bat, and then gone and gone, yeah, you're not getting me. And that is the way you have to do things sometimes.
Do you have any regrets about anything that you've done?
No, because everyone deserved it. Why would you regret doing something to someone what deserved it? There's some people I wish I'd have done a lot more to who deserved it. They got away lightly, some of them.
How was it the first time that you became violent? Did you have to sort of learn what to do in these situations?
No, it's just natural, I don't know.
Yeah. Something like that, it just as it is as natural for me to run when there's a bit of violence and I'm happy to fuck off, it's as natural for people like Pete to embrace it. Do you know what I mean? That's their forte and their strength.
Yeah. I remember up Helen's pub. Ellen up in Hounslow. I'm trying to think of the name of the pub now. I was up Ellen's pub, and I walked in there. I'm dressed up really well. There's this geezer, never met him before, didn't know who he was. Helen said he was a right bully and used to cause problems in his pub. I'm in there. He's come up to me. He started going, "Who the fuck? Who the hell do you think you are dressed like?" And he kept going on and on. And I thought, I've got trouble here. I'll wait my moment. Sarah's gone to talk. But I'm smiling at him all the time. There's a little thing I learned in life. Never let anyone know you're angry. Smile at them. Because when you're doing that, that person's getting angry, but you're bringing him down. He don't know that, but you're bringing him down because you're smiling at him. His aggression won't go up because you're not giving him aggression back. So you are weakening him by doing that. And then when I was punching his face in, I was smiling at him. And the next day, his face was in a cage. And Helen said to me, "Oh, I'm glad you've done that, Peter." She said he used to cause so much trouble round this pub. He never went back there again.
So now, what are you doing? I saw you only recently do security.
Doing security for Tommy, yeah.
Yeah, which was fantastic, and you were sort of running the whole security and leading the line, as it were.
I'm a patriotic, very patriotic person. My granddad was in the Battle of the Somme, and my dad was a Chindit in Burma, went out of 1,000 men and 37 came home alive.
Yeah, now that's interesting about the Chindits. I filmed their ceremony the other day on Remembrance Day.
Yeah, and my dad, but you've heard of the Chindits over there.
Yeah, I've heard of the Chindits.
Yeah, that was my dad was a Chindit.
Really?
I know there isn't many, but he was so patriotic, and he never told many stories. They didn't. They didn't. But little ones he told me, but nothing really nasty, when he had to live in the swamps and hide, and the leeches were biting him. And
so you come from a real tough sort of.
It's in his blood, really. Yeah. It's in his blood.
I mean, my dad only joined the police because he come out of a war, had nothing. Yeah. You know, he wasn't like your normal. What coppers you get today. Yeah. If there's any trouble in the pub, they'd call me old man. Yeah. And everyone loved him. They knew old Ron He'd chuck his uniform on the floor, say you want it, and he'd have it with you. that was my dad.
Yeah. How did your dad feel about what you were doing?
Oh, well, he liked it. We got on so well when I grew up, because I went to sea. I went in the Merchant Navy.
Right.
I got in a lot of trouble there and all, but I went in only because the people thought they could push me around because I was a 16-year-old boy. They soon found out that I wasn't a 16. They soon found out I wasn't a 16-year-old boy. But no, he liked me. But I give him nightmares, actually, my dad, I did. Because he was called up and threatened with a sack. Told if you can't control your own son, you go out and control other people. Because you got the belt in them days, the leather belt. That's the way kids were brought up. Discipline, but it made them better because our generation ain't like the shit you got today. You got discipline, it teaches you things, and I definitely got discipline. But because of the way I was, when my dad would start hitting me, I'd scream, I want more. I got the cane at school, 6 of them, and I'd say to the headmaster, is that it? I want another 6. That's the way I was.
He was always going to be challenging.
Challenging, very challenging, yeah. So I give my dad a lot of grief, but when we grew up, my dad would have been the same as me if he hadn't joined the police force. I know that. I've had stories about him when he was a kid.
So did you miss the old days with Dave and stuff? Did you miss all those days?
I think you missed Dave.
I miss them all. I miss Dave more than anyone. I've never met a man as unique as what that man is. And you'll never find another Dave Courtney. You can look, but you ain't going to get one.
No.
And I just want to say this, that there was one thing that Dave always said about Pete, and it was when he come out of the court case at the Old Bailey about the grass thing. Pete was outside, he'd seen what was happening, but he made a speech on that day, it's on YouTube, and it was so poignant and so on point, and articulate, that, like, I don't know where Pete found the words that day, but he was so bang on point. And when Peter really wants to get a point across like that, he can. But it was something that Dave always remembered, and I think it showed, for people like Pete, they seen what they were trying to stain him with, and were so angry about it. Pete, weren't you?
I was. I said it how it actually was, because I've known Dave for long enough. I knew the whole truth of everything, And there's there's so many fakes who thought they were him. And who was the other one who used to think he was made out he was Dave? Who was it years ago, screaming he was going to do this and that? He couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag, and I can't think of his name. Another one. You always got them, didn't you? But I think they fantasise, these people.
Well, a lot of people were jealous of Dave, weren't they? Because they wanted to be him, but he just didn't. He was a unique force of nature, Dave. You couldn't try to be him. It was not.
See, if Dave hadn't have done the Cray's funeral, Ronnie Cray's funeral, to start with, Dave would have definitely made it in the filming industry.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I remember the change of the millennium. We went to the O2 Arena.
Ministry of Sound, wasn't it? At the O2.
At the O2 Arena, and we was in the company of Quentin Caratino's business partner was with us that day, trying to help, but no one could help him out.
Yeah.
Because they tried, but as soon as they started, they were told, you can't. That's what they were told, because he'd done. It's the same as he had all the doormen of London. He had the whole of the security. He run the whole of the security of the clubs in London. As soon as he done Ronnie Cray's funeral, they systematically closed him down. They went to all the clubs and said, if you employ Dave's boys, we're going to take your licence off you.
Yeah.
Disgusting, isn't it?
And it was a shame, because he was talented, Dave. He would have been a good entertainer. And he always said, I'm a better entertainer than I'm a gangster. He went, I was a doorman that run doorman. The code that he lived by was, some people would say it was that of a gangster's old-fashioned style, do you know what I mean? But that's because Dave had been mentored by the likes of Joey Pyle and Freddie Foreman, and he'd worked with Lenny McLean. You know, so he come from an older generation that did have a code before drugs had taken over. You know, drugs changed everything in the early 80s. The whole way the criminal world worked it worked on a drugs industry then, and it was a different type of thing. You know, the old bank robbers and all that become history, and it become just a world of drug dealers and drug crimes. Which,
so, are you going to do a book, Pete? Are you? You know, you're such an entertaining guy. So many stories.
People have said it to me over years. It's getting myself around it. I suffer with that dyslexia and all that. I find all that hard.
Could you get like a ghostwriter or something to do?
That's what I would need. Yeah. That is what I need. But I could write a fantastic. I could write a book as good as anybody has ever written one. I've got better stories than 99% of people who've ever been on the telly or done anything. I've got a lot more
Peter
amazing
don't have
things.
to make anything up. He has lived a very colourful life with quite exceptional violence and nutty moments in it. Do you know what I mean? And he's how do I put it? His life. He is a survivor.
Yes.
And I think he survived because, as mad and nutty as you could say he was, his moral compass and his heart was pure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was a good person. So I do think that means a lot, and I do think it sees you through certain events and times in your life.
Have you calmed down a bit, Pete?
He's calmed down.
Of course I've calmed down. I don't do anything now. I've got a load of kids. Say priority. You have to. When you get older, you do calm down. Yeah. It's because when you get older, things that didn't bother you, they do start to bother you as you get older. I mean, I know I was completely and utterly fearless of things. I mean, just things like car accidents. I've left the road and I've gone in a car that's spun about 20 times and the car's on its roof. Everyone's got out of the car and they're going, "Get out, Peter, get out before it catches fire." I said, "I want me mobile phone." I wasn't even getting out. I was trying to find me mobile phone.
So what's the future for you? What are you going to do with yourself?
Well, I'm 60. There's no fear. I'm happy. It's me kids. That's all I care about. You know. Yeah. I'm scared for them. I'm scared because I've got little girls. I'm scared the way my country is going because it's not England. It's not England no more. And I'm scared for my because the little girls, their well-being, because this government is trying to cover everything up. You know what I mean? It makes me laugh, especially that Starmer. Oh, he makes me giggle, that prick. He's not a fucking prick. He's no doubt about it.
You're not a Labour man yourself.
No, I hate him, especially Starmer.
Yeah.
The biggest thing he says, you see what my dad's done and what my granddad's done. So, my dad was a tool maker. Yeah, he made a fucking right tool out of you, didn't he, my friend?
So, Bren, what do you want to say about Mad Pete? He's very entertaining.
It's been an absolute honour, and I always knew Pete was going to be very entertaining. He's got loads more stories, and I'm sure on another day we'll catch him and get some more out of him. But I know that Dave loved him with all his heart. He was a big part of Dave's life. He was a big part of Dave's inner circle, if you like. Do you know what I mean? And he had total trust and faith in Peter.
Oh, Dave Courtney is the best man I've ever met in the world. And his cocktail shaker, which he signed to me, I'm going to eventually be going in that, so we're going to meet again.
Many years to come.
Thank you.
Well done, Pete. Lovely interview.
What a wicked interview. Yeah, well done.